guys, welcome to episode 320 of the Cat Lady channel. My name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2T, C-A-T-T, which stands for Craft All the Things. I am a fiber-related channel for the most part, with knitting, crochet, spinning, that kind of stuff, but also dabble with sewing and Cricut crafts and other random crafty things that come my way. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel. I try to post weekly. I record snippets throughout each week and then post on Fridays. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me as the Cat Lady on Instagram and Facebook. I also have a Discord server that we can chat in. Everything is linked down below. Everything I talk about in this week's episode will also be posted below: what I'm wearing, what I'm working on, and any other things that I discuss. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to comment. You can email me as well at craftycatlady@gmail.com or message me on Instagram. So the messaging thing, usually I get my Instagram messages, and lately I feel like I've been getting my Facebook messages, but sometimes they get lost in these hidden requests folders and I don't see them. So the fastest way is either a comment or a direct email. So with that, it is already Wednesday this week. I usually try to start on Monday and, kind of progress through the week, but it was kind of a whirlwind of a weekend. So Monday was the solar eclipse. I live in Michigan, and we were only about an hour and a half away from the path of totality. So we knew we kind of wanted to head down to Ohio, but we kind of were wishy-washy on what we were going to do, and we didn't know how busy it was going to be, and then we would be pulling the kids from school. So we were really debating, should we pull them out halfway through the day and just do something for the afternoon? But the more things that we kept reading, it was it's going to be crazy, there's going to be traffic. So we ended up booking a campsite and going camping. And I did a little vlog, so I will post the link to that up in the corner there. So that is our little camping vlog it felt like we were gone for days, but it was literally overnight. So it was definitely a whirlwind trip. We arrived Sunday afternoon and we were home Monday evening, and it was just wild. However, Saturday I was back in the ER, or the animal ER, not the people emergency room, but the animal emergency room, with my poor cat, Sadie. Sadie is 20. She has had some ongoing issues. She's been so great for so long, and now it's fine. She's finally at that age where it's just everything keeps going wrong, and it sucks because she's so old. But she's had some urinary issues. She had a UTI, we think, a couple weeks ago. Well, all of a sudden Saturday she is having more problems, and it was bad. I took her to the emergency vet, and wow, it was very pricey. I just can't even. I'm just so angry about the state of medical things. Human medical things are bad enough, but animal medical things are so much worse. In the terms of there's no system that all the medical information is in. So they're asking me when did she last have blood taken and what was the results and blah. I don't know. I guess going forward, when I need to make sure I have her blood results with me at all times, so I know, because they're looking at values. They're well, I don't know what it was before, so I don't know what this means, etc. And I've had all these things done at my vet, but then they don't have access to that at the emergency. And I know for people, there's a system. Usually if you stay within your system, you have access to your records. Oh, animals don't have that, and it is crazy. People were coming in with dire emergencies, and they're telling the people it's going to be so much money. Is that okay? And people are just I don't know what to do. And that's how we felt too. We're lucky enough to be able to not necessarily question it too much, but I have to question it a bit, and it sucks. I don't want to question my pet's well-being based on financial stuff, but it's a lot. So, and she's okay now. So they sent out a culture. I won't find out results for hopefully soon. So that was Saturday. I should check in. They said 3 to 4 days. So what is that? I don't know if that's business days. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, so today or tomorrow. So maybe I'll call tomorrow and see where we are, if we got results. And then I got to follow up with my vet. So that's just keep throw the money out the window for the same tests that all come back kind of like fine. So I don't know, but she's okay now. But I had my friend come and watch her once on Sunday night and then twice on Monday. So she came over 3 times within a very small amount of time to give her her antibiotic and feed her and make sure she was okay. I had the camera in the basement on her so I could see her at all times. So, because yeah, I mean, like, we already kind of had planned this now, and worst case scenario was going to be the 3 of them were going to go and I was going to stay home, but it worked out. So, and she's good today. So, one day at a time, it really is with her. So, and that's just, I treasure every day with her. Anyways, that was a tangent. So on the way, of course, I brought some projects. My bag's over there, but I don't think anything's in there. So what I did, on the way down, while I was at the ER, if you follow me on Instagram already, you've seen these, but on the way at the ER, it was 3-4 hours, I can't remember. I got there at like 3 o'clock. I didn't get home till like 7, something like that. So I made more flowers. No intents for these. I figure I want to make like pins, so like if I have a series of like, if I have a nice little shirt, I can put a series of rosettes on, kind of like that, and just make it a little decorative pin type thing. So I have 2 white ones, 2 pink ones, and then another pink one that needs to be assembled. So yeah, this is what it looks like prior to assembly. It's just this big, it's only 2 rows. The link will be down below. I followed a video tutorial. This is crochet. I use a sport weight baby yarn with a size H hook. And you just kind of roll it in. So let's see, that's the, I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way end, but I always take the cast on edge and put that in the center. So then you just kind of roll it upon itself. Until it makes a little flower, and then you got to sew it together. It's actually pretty easy. So, so yeah, those were easy to do, mindless. So yeah, I got 5 of those done while waiting. So, and that, you know, of course I took breaks and, you know, there was a lot of like back and forth and stuff. So, so then on my trip, I packed a spinning project, which I haven't spun in forever. I packed my some cotton yarn to make a head wrap. So I did make a head wrap. Boy, this thing is like so crazy. Like I could make like hundreds of these, I feel like. So this took me like an hour. I got this done in the car on the way down. It literally was an hour and a half drive. I finished it. I probably started it a little bit after we left, and I finished it like 10-15 minutes before we arrived. So yeah, it was maybe even sooner. So this is just a 1 skein of Lily Sugar and Cream. So the simple basic cotton yarn. It does have this like kind of zigzag going on there. It's kind of cool. I don't know what colorway this is. I don't know if I have the tag. It's probably in the bag that's over there. But just a little headscarf bandana. So this is the second one I have. I really like these. So these are fun. And just it was perfect. This was perfect for camping. Okay, because I'm not doing my hair while we're camping. And my hair gets all wild and in my face, so this was perfect. I wore this all weekend, so it really was the perfect trip or project to make on the way down, and then to wear while I was out. So got that done, and then I started, and yeah, this is supposed to be a quick project, and it will be once I like get going. But this is one of those projects I kind of have to focus on a little bit. This is and this I meant to talk about last episode, and I totally forgot. This is by Amba O'Brien, and I mentioned how much I loved her, and I would talk about it later, and I forgot. So I bought the Triagonal Shawlette pattern. It's her newest pattern. It's either uses a skein of fingering or a skein of DK. So it's a 1 skein project, and so it comes in 3 sizes. You either use a skein of DK with small needles and make a kind of medium weight size. You use a larger needle, it'll make a larger size, also with 1 skein, or you use a skein of DK with bigger needles as well, but that makes the smallest size. So there's a small, I think that makes the smallest size. So you make a small or a large in the fingering, and then you make a smaller one in DK. I kind of wanted to do the DK, but I was kind of in a hurry, number one, to pick a skein. And I didn't really have one that like popped out at me for DK weight. I have a lot of single fingering weights. I don't have a ton of DK yarn in general, so maybe I'll have to dye up a skein for that at some point. But I grabbed a skein of my own hand-dyed fingering weight. This was a sock blank that I burnt. So I made 2 of these sock blanks. This is called the Summer Fun Gradient. This is on a 75-25 merino nylon blend, and it was a sock blank that I then unraveled. So a sock blank is essentially a long strip of, do I have one? I have one some, oh, there it is. A sock blank comes like this. Oh, it's stuck. Okay, all right. So this is from Gail's Fiber, Gail's Art. She doesn't do them anymore. She doesn't dye anymore, so. But this is a single stranded sock blank. So this is what this used to look like. And I laid it in the pan and I dyed a gradient on it. So since it is knitted, it tends to kind of not get completely saturated. Now, if you like hand paint them, like if you hand paint them kind of like this, I'm sure she probably gets more saturation into these parts that are like, because you can kind of press the dye in. When you're dyeing in the pan, you're not really getting that saturation as much. But this one specifically is more going to be the more tie-dyed effect, I can tell just by looking at it. But in some spots, you can tell the color goes through. But anyways, that's what that was. And I accidentally like burned it. So I'm trying to remember what I did. Maybe I did sort of hand paint it. I don't really remember. I've only done a couple of these. I might have kind of like hand painted it on a table. I think that's might have what I did. And I wrapped it in plastic wrap, and then I stuck it in my steamer pan or my pans, and it like fell off the little contraption I was propping it up on, and it like singed the plastic and part of the yarn. Very minimal though. I lost a very small amount of yarn, but of course I wasn't going to, and I did actually list this for sale at a discount, but I didn't end up selling it. But yeah, I have like a little knot right there. So once I get to this purple part, there is a spot that I'll just have to reconnect. But this will be fun. This will be a fun shawlette. It's bright, it's fun. This is like summer fun. So this is what I'm working on. But I didn't get very far because it took a lot of concentration, and I kept kind of like having to think and look at the pattern, and that wasn't conducive of like being around my family and camping and being outside. So I worked a little bit in the tent, and I worked a little bit in the car, and so far so good. The line is straight, so there's like this central decrease line that tends to, you know, if you're not careful, you can easily mess it up. So I'm gonna work. I need to print out the pattern. I've been using it on my phone, and honestly, I need a printout. At least of the section that I'm on. I need to just print out the section I'm on, because it's just a 4-section. The section I'm on is just a 4-row repeat, but like I keep having to just double check before. I kind of have it memorized, but like still like in that weird phase where I'm just like I still need to look. So that is in my Northern Lights bag. Seemed appropriate for I don't know, a environmental anomaly, the solar eclipse. So Northern Lights, I don't know. So that is in that. And then I had all the space theme. And then I had my Space Cats bag. These are both made by me. Where I had my spinning project in it. And these are Into the World odds and ends. And I have not worked on this in ages, but it makes these little things. So it makes little minis. These are also odds and ends from the same bag. They are randomized materials. Oh, this one apparently still needs to be washed. So this came off the spindle like that. So these are all random fibers. We don't know what they are. They're just a random assortment. So they come in a little bag like this. I have another bag. I've already done 2 bags worth. So I have 2 bags worth plus this third bag. So I'll have 4 bags worth when I'm done. And let's see how many. I think it's about 4 ounces worth. 4 ounces. So this will be equivalent to like 4 skeins of yarn in these random minis that I have no clue what I'm doing with. So I feel like I got to come up with I thought about some sort of like decorative like bunting or something like something eclectic that I could do. Each mini could be something, but I'm not sure yet. But I worked on that. Of course, I can't tell you where I left off and how much I've gone, but I feel like I don't have much left. So I will finish this hopefully this week, and that will finish up this one. This is a Snyder spindle Turkish spindle, my favorite type of spindle, honestly. It's got cats in it, but I don't know if you can see. You can see his tail. So it's got a little cat cutout there. And I am doing 3 ply on the fly. So what I do is I spin a single first, and then directly after I get a bunch of singles up here, I then 3 ply it, chain ply it, and then roll it onto here. So all this is already done. Because typically if you spin all your singles and then you spin it into yarn. However, if you do 2 ply, 3 ply, whatever. For this one, I spin the singles and store them up here, and then ply it and store it where it belongs. So then when I pull it off the thing, it's already done as yarn. So I don't have to like take it off and put it somewhere else and then respin it back on itself. So that's been kind of cool. I like doing that. Can you do that on a wheel? No, probably not, because you don't really have like a holding area. So when you chain ply on the wheel, like a spinning wheel, you spin all your singles basically. And then you have to get like a Lazy Kate, which is like a holder, which I typically use a box with a stick in it. And it holds all your singles, and then you feed that back into the wheel and ply it. So you either have 2 spindles with two in it, or, oh, actually, no, I take that back. So for a 3 ply, chain ply, I spin it, I wind it into a cake, and then take both ends. And I like that best, or no, that would be a 2 ply. Boy, I haven't spun in forever. Okay, so there's multiple ways. You could do a 2 ply where you ply the 2 ends together of the yarn. So if you spin it into a cake, you take the one end and the other end, and then you feed it into the wheel. So you have two plies. And then you're not wasting any, and that's my favorite way to do it, but it depends on the braid, because if you have like a gradient, you want to keep the gradient. So like this is kind of gradient, you have to 3 ply it to keep the gradient. Or you could split the braid in half, spin them both separately, but getting it even isn't, like, it's hard. It's hard to get it equal. So like doing the 3 ply, you get the gradient. So because it all you're applying little small chunks on itself constantly is what that was. Okay, I'm rambling about spinning and I'm not making any sense. I am by no means any spinning expert. So anyways, I am going to move on. So lastly, which was prior to the weekend, so I kind of went out of order, I made one more leaf of the coleus plant that is like they're coming out weird. They're just coming out weird, but it's fine. So I have 5 done. 1, 2, 3, 5 out of 8 of the large ones done. I'm losing steam because they are kind of annoying me, but I will do them. So 5 done. Those are all Karen Simply Soft. I'm using the Crocheted Houseplants book by Anna Varnum. Then I just noticed I keep spelling her name wrong. It has an A at the end and not a U. But I usually link to the book. So, where's the plant? Let's see. And that's what it's supposed to look like there. So I will continue to work on that. But it's already Wednesday, so the week is flying. I don't know what I'm going to get done. So I will keep on keeping on and see where we get. I probably will record one more snippet on Friday and call it a day. So with that, I will wrap up this segment. And what I'm wearing, as usual, I'm wearing my Endless Eyelets cardigan by somebody. I will link it below. This was a free pattern. I adapted the pattern a little bit. This is using Karen Jumbo Ombre in the Carrera Marble, and then the edging is just Karen Jumbo in like tan or taupe or something, and which matched the Carrera Marble colorway perfect. It's 2 front panels and a back panel that you seam together. You leave space for the armhole. I did just cast on the arm and go, instead of like they wanted you to do panels and then seam. I didn't want to seam. I don't like seaming, so I didn't want to seam more than I had to. So I just cast it on. I just picked up around the arm or whatever, crocheted around, and just went around and around. And then I applied the cuffs, which I found a different pattern to do the cuffs. There's lots of those. And then same with the edging. And so the collar still, like, I feel like next time I would probably start at the back center, go down one side, and then go down the other side so that they line up, because I feel like I increased up and then decreased down and they just don't quite match up with the way I think they should. So I feel like the one side's better. So the way, okay, so which way is better? The going up is better than going down. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, it's just as long as they're the same. That's the part that bothers me. It's like uneven. So like, I guess I could go up and then stop at the middle, and then go up and stop at the middle. That would probably be the way to go. So if I do want to make another one. I do want to make a lighter weight one. This used almost 3 skeins of the ombre and then the partial skein of the jumbo. So it was a lot of yarn. So I feel like a fingering weight or sport weight or something is still it's gonna take a lot of yarn because it's big and floofy. But I just like, it's like spring, summer. I kind of want something a little lighter weight. So, but yeah, we'll see if that happens. But that is all. I will see you in the next clip. Hey friends, it's Friday. It's April. I was gonna say March. I don't know. It's April. Never remember the date. It's April 12th, 2024, and I'm here to wrap up the week. I got a haircut, and I asked her to kind of style it for me, which she did very nicely, and I'm probably never going to be able to do it again. She showed me what to do, but I'm not good at this, like, styling stuff. Like, I've never really been good at styling my hair. I'm sure it's going to look good, like, just straight anyway, so, but I'm going to try. So she just took a flat iron and, like half curled it with the flat iron, which I've done before when my hair was longer. So I know I can do it, but, you know, it takes time. I don't go out much, like, places, so, like, you know, am I going to spend an extra hour to, you know, fiddle with my hair to go to Meijer? Probably not, but I should practice and try to replicate the look, because it's kind of like the beachy wave, I guess you could call it, but it just gives it a little more style, but I like it. So we just shortened it up a little bit, so I am very happy with it. Let's see. In other news this week, I worked a little bit more on my spinning. I was hoping to finish. I'm like really close, but I did not finish this yet. But the little turtle there is getting pretty full, so I will hopefully finish this weekend. I just kind of pick it up and work on it for a few minutes here and there when I'm waiting around. So that is that. And then I worked a little bit on my Triagonal Chalette by Amba O'Brien. And last I showed it, I was at the Owl. So this one here. So I threw on a few rows, which, you know, it's working pretty fast. It's not going to get super wide, so I feel like in general it's going to move pretty fast. So it looks kind of funny, you know, on the needles a little bit, but once it gets to the part where you just go steady, and then you'll be able to tell its shape a little better, but right now it just looks a little weird. So, but that's coming along. So I did not get a chance to weigh to kind of use up the yarn. You're supposed to weigh the yarn first, and then like when you get 2/3 through the yarn, you start your decreases basically. I did not weigh the yarn, so I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping like my colors are roughly in thirds. So by the time I get to the pink, that like all the purple will be the decreases. I'm not really sure. So I should weigh it now just to see where we're at. But, you know, there is obviously some on there. So it will throw it off a little bit, but I'd like to be able to use up majority of the skein. So that is the plan. Lastly, I have done some major work on my coleus plant. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I posted a little bit of a reel yesterday about, or not, yeah, if you see this today, Friday, it was yesterday, on putting wires into the leaves. So basically, I'll show you this one, I guess. I just put like a thin wire. Where's the wire? It's just some basic floral wire. I don't know what the gauge of this is. It's relatively thin. I would maybe go a little thicker for these, but like I'm just using what I got, obviously. And for this, it was fine. But really, it's just so you can kind of shape the leaf to look more leaf-like and shape it so it's just not like flopping over like that. And you can kind of like give it some shape when it's in the pot. And I debated on putting this whole thing together before I recorded, but I really wanted to show you the whole process as well. So this is the soil. So it's literally just a big bowl. So this is actually pretty nice. It's weird. I did an invisible decrease, but like the decrease side looks kind of funky compared to the increase side. I like the increase side better, but it doesn't matter because it's all going to be covered. I feel like my tension just changed towards the end too because I was getting kind of like tired of doing it. But I also put some beans in there. So I bought this. I don't even remember why I bought this, but I bought this big bag of pinto beans like years and years ago. So they've been sitting in my craft room. And I can't remember. I think I was making, maybe when I was making my little Beans the cat, where you can barely see him. I can grab him. So I was maybe going to put them in the bottom. His name is actually Beans, the pattern. And maybe I was going to put it in the bottom to weigh it down. And then I never made any more. But when I made the holiday cactus, I just threw beans into the bottom of the pot, because that one has a piece of foam on top with the brown felt. So for this one, I put beans in here. So there's a little bit of beans in here, and then it's stuffing. So it's beans on the bottom, stuffing on top. So then it's like nicely fitted in there. So then it sits nicely in there, and it's a little bit weighted. So this one doesn't stick up and out like the cactus did anyway. So basically these all just gonna lay in here like this. See if I can get them all in there roughly. So this one's gonna be like this, but then you can take the leaves and kind of like move them up and out a little bit so that they kind of like stick up a little bit, so they're not just like kind of laying flopping over. And then there's another row, and then there are two little leaves that go in the middle at the end. This pattern was not my favorite. It was fine because it didn't matter that like it didn't turn out like exactly as it was supposed to. So all the leaves are probably slightly different, which again is probably fine, being that they're leaves, so they're more natural looking that way. But boy, I could not get it to work out like equally, like for any of them. Maybe one. I don't know what it was. Like it just, I don't know. I was really having a hard time. And same with the little one. The numbers just didn't line up. Like this one was literally only 3 rows, but like I did the first row, and like doing the first row, I'm sorry, I'm a little flummy. I chained the number it said to chain, and then it said what stitches to go in there, and it was like not enough. So I'm still kind of confused. I still feel like it's partially my fault, but I don't think it is. So, and I don't know if I'm supposed to put wire in these ones, but they kind of like naturally curve up a little bit because I just like totally just did whatever I wanted to for these ones. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. They're just going to sit in the middle and kind of naturally curve upwards. So this weekend I will reassemble that, or assemble that, and that'll be done. Work on my spinning, work on I think this is the main project I want to get done. This is supposed to be a quick make because it's just one skein and small. But that was the same thing with like my little leftovers. It was supposed to be quick, like little minis and stuff, and it just took forever. I don't want that to happen with this. I want this to be quick. So I'm going to work on this. I think I'm going to be a monogamous knitter and work on this, work on a little spinning. And then I don't have anything on the hooks right now, but I have something in mind. Oh, I have a skein of more green Bernat blanket yarn that I might make more chickens out of. They just come in handy for like little gifts for like the kids' friends and stuff. So I do want to have a nice little row of chickens over here, just emergency chickens, basically. So I have a lot of the green left that I made my baby blanket out, and I made a couple chickens out of. So there's a big chunk of yarn left. So might crank out some chickens and have those. And then my Jim was like, well, maybe you can make them for the babies. I made the baby blankets. Well, the safety eyes are not appropriate for little kids, because especially with the blanket yarn, if you pull on it, it's going to come out. It's not in there super snug, depending on how I popped it in there. I think it's because the eyes are kind of small for the yarn, but that's the size that looks good for them. Like I don't want them to have huge eyes, but like since the stitches are so big, you can literally, if you grab it at the right angle, like pull the whole eye out. And I've lost a couple eyes because I put them in and then they come out. So they're really decorative only. And I've heard that too, even though they're called safety eyes. So I need to figure out how to make a cute little yarn eye. So like usually for like my little cats here, I do the little, and when I made like the little bunnies for my kids, the little bunny blankets, Mr. Buns is what I called them. I made the little like, kind of the little happy closed eye. So it's like the little triangle. So I might try that and see how it looks for the chicken. Or I can do a French knot. I think I did that for, I have big fluffy cats that are on my mantle. And I have a Sadie and a Devo cat. Like they're white and black, or white and black and then orange and white striped. I think I did the little French knot eyes. So that's another option too. And that actually would probably look, you know, like the eye. But I think the cute little triangle eye could be fun. It makes it look like a happy chicken, really. So I might try that with those just for the heck of it and see what it looks like. Because that would be safe, because it would be yarn and then it would be tied in the back and it's not going to come out. So if you pull on it, you know, you could ruin it, but you're not going to pull the yarn out, essentially. So that would be more safe for little babies. I also want to make little ducks. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I think I did. And I'm having a hard time finding like really good blanket yarn duck colors. Like there's no really good like bright green. I found like a Bernat Brights has like a bright yellow, I think. The white's fine. And like no good brown, like just a regular solid, because all the Bernat blankets for the most part, they're all like those variegated colors. So like trying to find like a solid, it's not really super easy. So it's either going to be like a muted colored duck, because they had like an olive green and they had like a butter yellow, but brown, I still couldn't find like any just brown. So that's a problem. Because I found a couple of duck patterns on Ravelry, and you know, most of them are designed for worsted, but I want to make them a little bigger, and I like the blanket yarn. So like that would make it bigger hook, bigger yarn, bigger duck. So I don't know, because one of the kids' friends really likes ducks, and then we joked about putting a duck in Jim's car. He drives a Jeep, and like if you know Jeeps, they have the old duck thing for some reason called Duck Jeep or whatever they do. So when you see a Jeep in the wild and you own a Jeep, you're supposed to like leave a little duck for them. It's a weird thing. So, and if you don't know anything about Jeep life, you're also supposed to wave at other Wranglers. Okay, this is specifically mainly Wranglers, Jeep Wranglers. So like the traditional Jeep. If you see someone, so when Jim first got his Jeep, it was like people started waving at him, or other Jeep owners were waving, and we were so confused. He had to look it up. So you look up the Jeep wave. So you see somebody right in a Jeep and you're in your Jeep and you wave. So it's kind of fun and it's cute, but it's weird. And now there's a duck thing going on. So that's a newer, within the last year or two, the duck thing started. So if you ever notice Jeeps driving down the road, sometimes they have tons of ducks in their windows. So yeah, we joked about making a duck, like a knit crochet duck to keep in his car. But anyways, that's it. It's another dreary day. The kids actually track practice was canceled yesterday because of rain. It's just as rainy today, so I'm curious if they're going to cancel again or if they're just going to like push through. I feel like they should push through, because if there's a track meet and it's raining, they're not going to cancel. Track is kind of a rain or shine sport unless it's like thunderstorms. That's the only way they like cancel. And it was the same with cross country. So I'm a little surprised they even canceled yesterday, but it is the beginning of the season. I don't think they want to like overwhelm the kids. So, okay, but that's fine. So anywho, let's see, upcoming plans, things. I do want to go through my box of jewelry. I had a few people that are interested in unboxing with me, so I will record that hopefully soon. I thought there was something else I wanted to kind of record. I don't remember though. If you have any ideas of things you want to see or makes or whatever, just let me know and put together some videos and stuff. I'm just trying to continue to grow the channel and have more stuff to share. But that's all I got. That's all I got. So anyways, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope you all have a good week next week. And I hope the weather starts to turn here and stick. It was so nice on Wednesday. It was like that hint of spring. It was like 50s to 70s throughout the day. So it was like, you know, I wore my little, did I wear this? I think I wore this. Yeah, I had a skirt on and I wore this. I wore a skirt twice this week. It was like nice. I could wear a skirt and not be freezing, but I had like the sweater on. So it was like kind of coolish breeze here and there, but then by the like end of the day it would get a little warmer, and it was like, oh, it was so nice. I just really liked, I'm just looking forward to like full-on spring and summer. So bring it on. Oh, I did have something else. I'll share it next time. So if you recall from like a week or two ago, I was working on an I-cord and a lighter weight fingering weight yarn that I was going to make into a belt. Well, I need to put tassels on it still, so it's technically not done, but I finished the I-cord part, and maybe I'll put on the pants that I planned on wearing it with. So I have this pair of like linen pants that I think would look good with like a blue, my throat today, blue like striped collared shirt, and I had this like white and blue yarn. It's like a speckled blue yarn, or a speckled white yarn with blue speckles. So I made the cord long enough, so it's really long, and now I just need to find two, I don't know what color tassels. Light blue tassel. Ooh, looking at some yarn right there that is light blue. It's like a denim blue that actually would be pretty cute. So to keep with the blue theme, or actually, what was I gonna do? I was thinking, I was thinking like orange. So like getting that contrast color. So like blue and orange. Well, sure, no, it's purple and orange that are on the opposite ends, right? Is it purple and orange? What's the opposite of blue? Blue and yellow? I don't even remember. But I don't know, I still think orange would look really good, like if I wanted to pop an orange. But I might go with the blue and just keep it like blue themed. I'm not sure. So, but it's not done. But the cord is done. So I'm going to stop talking because my throat keeps like flumming up. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to say it again. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. And I hope you get to craft all the things.